Joining me now, Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Duff. She served 20 years on active duty in the U.S. Marine Corps and is now on the organizing committee for Concerned Veterans for America. Gunnery Sergeant, good to see you. The girly hat, what do you think of it?
I'm appalled that the Department of Defense finds that gender-neutral uniforms is their priority right now. Meanwhile, we aren't able to pay the death benefits of our Marines and soldiers killed on the battlefield last week during a shutdown. When did they have time to come up with hats? This, to me, is appalling. Women need a distinct identity. We are already very elite. We are the fewer and the prouder. Why would you want us to blend in with the men? The men are almost 95% of the entire Marine Corps. I think they need to attain their identity, keep their identity, and be the manly men that they are, and the females need to remain female.
Was this a problem when you were on active duty? Were the men and women sitting around saying, you know, like, if only we could get better hats?
Well, the cover for the females, which we call a hat, did need to get modified, as Trace had explained, simply because if you sat on it, it was completely crushed and you had to replace it. But they've already redesigned it. So what is up with this gender-neutral idea? The Marines of all service, we have less than 6% females. Why would we need a gender-neutral uniform? We don't need any frills or fluff on our males' uniform by any means. They are the meanest and toughest fighting force in the world.
Do you think this is about masculinizing the women or feminizing the men?
I really do think it's about masculinizing the women. We have had standards change left and right with this administration. We are looking at women in the infantry. We are looking at women doing a male physical fitness test at some point. We are looking at women becoming men, and females like myself who did 20 years supporting the infantry, supporting those air wing units, will become obsolete. And that to me would be tragic, because we become a critical part of what our fighting force, the United States Marine Corps, is all about.
It looks a little French.
It does. It does. It looks a little too delicate for me, even. I'm just a little appalled that they would want men to wear it.
I'm wondering who answered these surveys. They say, oh, it's going to look like the guy who won the Medal of Honor from 1904 to 1918. It's like they wore full-length bathing suits back then, too.
Right.
Like, we really want to be adopting those standards.
Yeah, and Dan Daly was wearing a black cover. If you looked at the picture, it did look nothing like our dress blues, which is in white. This is just an insult to the male Marines, in my opinion, and I don't think that they should modify their uniform in any way. 95% of them going gender neutral, that's appalling.
God. Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Duff, thanks for being here with your point of view.
Thank you so much for having me, Megan.
We're taking your thoughts on that on Twitter. Follow me at Megyn Kelly. Coming up, a Kelly File follow-up after our story on teachers' unions got one teacher very fired up. So fired up, she won